I gotta get back on the Light Bee now, man. Alright, we'll go ride the Light Bee. Wow, damn it! This thing is so much smaller. Yeah, dude, the Light Bee feels so much. Yeah, dude, the Light Bee is much lighter than that bike too, you know. But yeah, it is nice having it a little bit bigger. Yeah, the regen is so okay. We're gonna go talk about it right now. Here we go. All right, so here I just got done riding the Cake Kalk. Oh, dude, this bike just feels so much different than that one. That's what I want to say. So we're just gonna go around the block here. We're gonna follow that same route that we took before. It's definitely got beefier wheels. They're 24-inch wheels. They're kind of a weird size. It's not even like, that's not even a dirt bike size, man. And man, I know. So it's like a. I'm gonna compare the two bikes now, the Light Bee and the Kalk. And man, so all I can say is the Light Bee, it just feels much lighter. If you want a bigger, heavier bike, the Kalk will probably do the trick for you. I feel, and it has very good suspension. It has Olean suspension and stuff. I didn't really get to try it off-road, you know. But yeah, definitely it's got a more urgency to accelerate. So I'm doing pretty much full power right here, and it feels like we're doing 40 right now. It feels like they were going about 40 on the Kalk. I don't know how fast they were going because it didn't have a speedometer. But yeah, that's how this is about how fast. So it's comparably fast to the Light Bee. I think it's got more torque than the Light Bee. They said it has 42 Newton meters. I'm not really sure how much the Light Bee has, but it definitely has more torque than the Light Bee. It feels bigger and more planted, but it also feels heavier. It's only 25 pounds heavier. It's only 25 pounds heavier. It's taller. It feels like it's got a longer wheelbase. It feels more substantial than the Light Bee. Regen. Yeah. Okay, so I'll talk about the regen. The regen, there's a 1, 2, 3. 1 is freewheel, 2 is a 2-stroke, and 4 is 4-stroke. That's the way they mention it. So I would say in the 3 mode, it probably has like 2 or 3 times as much regen as Sur Ron Light Bee with the X controller or the X bike. What's the word? I feel that it has like twice the regen of the Light Bee with the X controller. Now, compare it to my BAC 2000 powered Sur Ron Light Bee regen. It's set at 50% of the braking power. I would say maybe the Light Bee has like twice the regen of the Kalk when it's got when it's in the 4-stroke mode, the 3 mode. It has 3 ride modes. It has 1, 2, 3. And he was saying like in 1 you get 3 hours of ride time, 2 you get 2 hours of ride time, and 3 you get 1 hour of ride. So it's like it's backwards. I couldn't say what you'd get range-wise. I don't even think we put a dent in that in the battery. The little battery meter didn't. So yeah, I have to say, I don't know. I tried 1, 2, and 3 in the parking lot, and then I only tried 3 out in the pavement, out on the streets. When we took it out of the parking lot, 1 and 2, you know, it's nothing crazy. It's nothing crazy, but boy, when it gets going, it gets going. Like I feel like it has more initial torque than the Light Bee. But the Light Bee, you know, I say, man, Light Bee has a double meaning, right? Light Bee because it's light, and light as in like electricity, you know. And I feel that whatchamacallit, I felt that, like, you know, it wasn't too much power in the 3 mode, but yeah, once it gets going, it gets going. It could pretty easily get up to 40 miles an hour. I feel like you're hitting like a RPM speed limiter after like a certain RPM or miles per hour. You can kind of feel it. It like dials back the power a little bit. And I guess there's like a speed limiter on it or something. Oh, we made it. Yeah, so there's like a speed limiter on it. You know, I'm just gonna stay behind the car. Yeah, so yeah, it has 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2 are all right, you know, in the parking lot, no problem. You can give it. I showed you some full twist acceleration, you know, and it wasn't too bad. And the 3 mode, it's got a lot of power. That's the pro mode. And like I said, once it gets going, but it's got more torque than the Light Bee. It feels like it just, you know, it feels like it propels itself faster, you know, in the lower RPM, because I think the motor, they were saying it has an 11 kilowatt motor. I think the Light Bee has like a 6 or like 7, almost a 7 kilowatt kind of power motor. I'm gonna make a right here. Oh, I decided to make a right turn all of a sudden. Oh man, this bike is so much fun to ride still though. Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna. So yeah, it definitely has more power on the. It's got more initial like low end torque sorta, and it just feels like it's got more torque. Period. You know, it has a little more urgency to accelerate, is what I'm gonna say. I didn't get to try 1 and 2 outside the parking lot, you know, but it was cool, man. What can I say now? Okay, so I'm just gonna talk about, like, yeah, it's got more power than the Light Bee, yes. But could the Light Bee keep up with the Cake bike? Yeah, I think it could. You know, they reach about the same top speeds. This one does 47. You know, I think that one could do 47.50, definitely. And it's got a bigger sprocket. They were saying that the Kalk and the street legal version has it's geared for more top speed. The Kalk and is the street legal one, and he was saying like it has I think it must have a smaller sprocket, so it has more top end, and it probably has less torque. So is what I'm thinking, and that's a good idea. Yeah. I don't really know what the top speed is on it. I will look it up and put a subtitle below. He says they're available now, so if you wanted to go buy one, you could. He was like, "Oh, are you planning to buy one?" I'm like, "I just wanted to test ride it, you know." Oh my god. Yeah. So what am I gonna say here? Yeah. So I think a Light Bee could keep up with it, especially my Light Bee with the BAC 2000 on it. So I mean, hey, you figure that's a $13,000 bike, and it's $14,000 for the street legal version. And I think he was saying you have to get like a moped plate for it or something. So I don't know why you couldn't get a motorcycle plate. When they have the street legal one, I will try to go back and get a video about it. You know, just take a look at it. We've already ridden the Kalk OR, and the Kalk OR is like, they said the Kalk OR and it's pretty much the same bike. From what I heard, it's the same bike. So compared to the Light Bee, it's much bigger and beefier bike, man. It's like it feels like a proper dirt bike. You probably want to compare it more to the Storm Bee. So if you were looking to get a electric dirt bike anytime soon, I would wait on the Storm Bee first. If you have your eyes on a Kalk, a Cake Kalk, wait for the Storm Bee to come out, and then I would try that one out. Now the good thing for Hades Omega is that like there's a dealer for the Cake bikes in Santa Clara, very close to where Hades Omega lives. So I can actually go and test ride it. You know, whereas Lunicycle is in El Segundo. I have to go to El Segundo to test ride one. You know, there's no dealers for the Sur Ron Light Bee. You know, that's the kind of bummer part, and that's one thing I do like about the Cake. I can go to a dealer, and if there's anything wrong with it, I can take it back to them. They're pretty close, you know. So that's what I'm gonna say. So that's the nice thing about the Cake bike. They have dealers, you know. They have places that will sell it, you know. And it looks like, you know, it looks like they're ramping up, man. The bike is available now. You can buy it right now as of this video. So if you want it, he said they're behind on the street legal bike, the OR and the street legal one. I wish they didn't have such weird names for it. The seats, it's wider, it's longer, it's heavier, it's taller than the Light Bee. If you want a bigger bike, the Cake is a good alternative to the Light Bee if you're looking for one of these small little e-dirt bikes. It has more heavy-duty suspension. It has motorcycle components, whereas the Light Bee has mountain bike components for the most part. And they felt pretty good. It's pretty simple to operate, just like the Light Bee. It's got a couple more dials than the Light Bee, which I like. If it's one of my complaints about the Light Bee, you can't like change settings and stuff. You can't jack up the regen if you wanted to. You can't do this and that with it. It's pretty much how you get it out of the box is how it's gonna be. You know, there's nothing you can do about it. But okay. The Light Bee does have a low and high power mode though. Okay, so you do get 2 power modes, so that's a good thing, and you get a little bit of regen. The regen, I would say the regen is better. Yeah, I would say the regen is better than the Light Bee with the X controller. With the BSC 2000 controller, the BSC 2000 controller is better than it has more regen. So if you like more regen, the X bike will do the trick, man. Not the X bike, the Kalk will do the trick for you, man. I noticed, yeah, you gotta get that engine moving. You gotta get that engine RPMs up before the regen, you know, kicks in harder. If you don't know the way regen works, the more RPM you have, the more regen you're gonna have. The more it's gonna break. So you only have so much regen. The lower RPM you go, the less regen you're gonna have, because you know there's just less inertia. You know, it's very much like an engine braking in a internal combustion motor. Yeah, so I felt that it was bigger. If you want a bigger bike, then the Cake would be a good bike for you. You know, if you're a bigger dude than me, I would say it's just the right size for me. So if I'm a 5'10", 175 pounds, and if you're shorter than me, you're gonna have a little trouble riding it. You could probably adjust the preload and make it a little lower. You know. Oh, I didn't ask if you could get a kickstand for it too. I was like, I was kind of annoyed it didn't have a kickstand. I'm like, what the hell, man? Kickstand. I know it's a dirt bike and all, but that's kind of annoying. Okay, so I'm here where I'm supposed to be. So I'm just gonna kind of talk about it a little more. Yeah, it's bigger, it's wider, it's longer, it's heavier. It feels significantly. It just feels like the Light Bee, but a little bit bigger and a little more power. You know, it's got more torque definitely, and it just goes when you twist the throttle. Whereas the Light Bee, you know, it kind of takes a second for it to get going, and then it gets going. So it's definitely got more torque. It's got a bigger battery. It has a 50 amp hour battery versus the was it 50? Yeah, it has a 50 amp hour battery compared to the Light Bee's 30 amp hour battery, and you know it shows because the bike is heavier. You know, it's got a bigger, heavier battery. Where are we going? I've never been back here before. And it has a lower voltage motor, which is interesting. It's 52 volts versus the Light Bee's 60 volts, but it still gets up and goes, man. I don't know if it has any kind of primary, secondary drive system. The Light Bee has 2 drive systems. It has a primary and secondary drive. It has a belt that goes from the motor, and then there's what they call a jack shaft that goes to the chain. I don't know if that bike had anything like that. I didn't really look at it too carefully, but it looks like it only has one primary drive. The power goes straight from the motor to the sprocket in the back. So you don't have to worry about having like a second drive system, I guess. And it probably has a bigger motor too. It has an 11 kilowatt motor, man. It's got a lot of power. So yeah. So that's just my comparisons with the Sur Ron Light Bee. It's bigger, wider, more torquey. It's probably just as fast. I would say, you know, if you're gonna put a Light Bee in a race against a Kalk, the Light Bee would probably lose it, but it wouldn't lose by much, is what I'm thinking. And you probably, I would say, I can't. Okay. Well, Hades Omega is just speculating here, but the suspension on the Kalk bike is very good. It has Öhlins front and rear suspension. It has a very good suspension. So I would imagine it would probably do a lot better off-road than the Light Bee. I find, you know, right out of the box, the Light Bee is not, it's not, when you push the Light Bee hard enough off-road, it can't handle it, man. If, I've gotten into some situations where, like, oh, the terrain is just too rough, I can't, you know, it doesn't handle it very well, you know, it's too much for the suspension to handle. It'll, like, bottom out and, you know, like, crash or something. I had that happen to me during a race, so. Yeah, I could probably get better suspension for the Light Bee, you know, like a Fox Shock or something, or Fox Forks. But yeah, right out of the box, I think the Kalk has better suspension than the Light Bee. So, I mean, it's got more power, it's got better suspension, it's just bigger and heavier. It's 25 pounds heavier, it's noticeably heavier than the Light Bee. Yeah. It's still pretty quiet. I feel the BAC 2000 controller on the Light Bee, it's still smooth. It feels smoother than the Kalk. Yeah. So I have to say this ASI controller is really impressing me. So yeah. So yeah. Okay. So those are my observations. Like I said, I think if you were gonna put them up in a race, yeah, probably the Kalk will win. It might be harder to handle because it's a bigger bike, but if the bike fit you, you know, it would be pretty good. Also, I noticed doing pivot turns was significantly harder on it because it's just so tall. You know, I'm on my tippy toes on the Kalk, so I had trouble. The best I got was like a 90-degree pivot turn. I can do pivot turns all day long in the Light Bee. I'm very good at it now. Yeah, the Light Bee is just so much lighter. It's kind of, Light Bee is more of like a play bike or trail bike compared to the Kalk, which is more of like a serious dirt bike. It's kind of more like the Alta Redshift is what I'm gonna say. I have ridden the Alta, but I have ridden the Alta off road. I have not ridden the Kalk off road. I couldn't say how the Kalk would stack up against the Alta. But hey, I'll tell you this: the Kalk costs about as much as an Alta Redshift, and it costs more than 3 times as much as the Light Bee. Could you buy a Light Bee and then fix it up with that extra money that you save, like that extra $8,000, $9,000 that you saved, and make a badass Light Bee? Yeah, you could. That's what I was say. So out of the box, the Sur Ron is the out of the box. The Sur Ron is inferior to the Kalk. I'll tell you that now, man. But if you do some modifications, you get a BAC controller, you get a better battery. You can probably very easily hang with that Kalk. Alan from Electric Race Technologies, he was saying with a 72-volt battery, you can probably hit speeds of 60 or 70 miles per hour. Now, you probably could do that in the street legal Kalk bike, you know, but you're like dumping an extra $1,000, you know, because yeah, it's built for more top speed. If I remember correctly from the website, I think 70 miles an hour is the top speed, the Kalk. So you could probably take the Kalk on the freeway. I don't know for how long. It does have a larger battery. It has a 50 amp hour battery. It's almost twice as big. It's 50 versus like a 30, and yeah, so it's definitely got a beefier battery. That's why it's got more power and torque than the Light Bee. So I've already dissected the two bikes as close as I could. All I'm saying is, if you're in the market for electric dirt bike, I don't know when the Storm Bee is coming out. The Kalk is out right now. The Cake Kalk is out right now, and it's $13,000. I would hold on to your money for now, and wait till the Sur Ron Storm Bee comes out. That's the bigger version of the Light Bee, basically, and that's gonna have like a 90-volt battery, and it's gonna be more along the lines of the Alta, and it's not gonna look like. It's you know, the looks of the Cake bike are kind of, you know, it's not gonna suit everyone's taste. I want to say it looks like something Apple would make, or IKEA. IKEA should start selling cake bikes. That's what I'm gonna say. So you know, it's got that kind of look to it. It's a very it's like a very you know, very iPhone-ish looking bike. That's what I want to say. If that's your thing. But the Storm Bee looks more like a traditional dirt bike. It looks more along the lines of the Alta. I did notice the fender is a little small on the Cake bike also. So just like the Light Bee, I think the fender is probably a little bit better than the Light Bee. It looks like it's a little bit longer. I have already extended my fender, so, and it has already fender in the front, so you know. I think so. Like I said, out of the box, Cake, better bike, better of the two bikes, but it costs 3 times as much. Could you make the Light Bee better than the Kalk? Yeah, you probably could with that kind of money savings, you know. And you can buy the street legal version, and you can ride it on the street like a motorcycle. Whereas the Light Bee, you have to register it as a moped. We don't, in America, we don't have a street legal version. In like the UK and stuff, they have a street legal version with the lights and everything. So this one is just it's a MX bike with a moped plate on it. So that's what I'm gonna say. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Thanks for watching. Boy, I know. I feel that Hades Mega was an expert riding it because I could compare it to this bike. It's very comparable to this bike. So this feels like a little smaller bike than that bike. If you were to make a little bit bigger, yeah, if you were to make the Light Bee a little bit bigger, you know, put beefier components on it, then yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna say. So out of the box, Cake is better bike, but you could. There's enough mods on the market where like the Light Bee, the Light Bee aftermarket is starting to take off, you know, and people are starting to hot rod their bikes and stuff. So you could probably for less money than buying a Kalk, you know, and with the money you saved, you can probably make a really good Light. You can probably have, like I said, you could probably have 2 Light Bees. You can buy 2 Light Bees and mod them up. That's what I'm gonna say. For the Kalk, it's just yeah, the price is a lot, man. It's 3 times as much as this. It is an expensive bike. If it was cheaper, I would say if it was like $8,000, you know, I feel that, yeah, you know. But like I said, I would wait for the Storm Bee to come out. The Storm Bee is probably very comparable to the Kalk, whereas this one is just a little bit smaller, you know, and a little less power than the Kalk, and it's a lot cheaper. So I would, if the Storm Bee comes out and it's cheaper than the Kalk, which I think it will be, I would say get the Storm Bee. But I haven't ridden the Storm Bee yet, so they're not out yet. So I would like to, but they don't have. Sur Ron does not have any dealerships in the United States besides Unicycle. They're the distributors for it. So you can't just go out and ride one like the Cake bike, like I just did. So that's one thing I did like about it. Thanks. Oh, I want to give a plug for Evolution Motorcycles in Santa Clara. They had one and they let me ride it, and they said, hey, if you get a ticket on it, that's on you. And I took it out on the street and I flogged it a little bit, and then yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed that. But yeah, thanks Evolution Motorcycles for letting me ride the Cake bike. It was awesome. It's an awesome bike for a lot of money. All right, here's we go.